All right. Good morning, everybody. Let's start with some just nice deep breaths in and exhale. And as we move through our warm up, I want you to do a little assessment of how you're feeling today. I'm not sure if we've done a lot of biceps this week or if it's just from cleaning, but I definitely feel my biceps today. Just a little bit sore, which it's okay, but just, be aware of things like that, or be aware of the hip that's a little bit tender today. Good. One more. And let's bring the arms down. We're going to roll the shoulders back and down one time. We're going to set the shoulder blades, and then we're just going to take our ear to our shoulder, going side to side. So as we lower our shoulder down towards our ear, our other shoulder is going to lift up towards the ceiling. So really think, get a nice, good lengthening feel on your neck. Good. Bring it up. Again, set the shoulders one time. Tuck the chin back just a little bit, and then look to the right, and then look to the left. Look to the right, look to the left. So imagine if your back was against the wall and your head was also against the wall. And you just had a little itch on the back of your head. So you've got to have that head trying to touch the wall. So you just pull it back slightly. Good. Two more. 2, 1. Bring it into the center. Let's just roll the shoulders up, back, and down into our back pocket. So just think, nice, good shoulder movement. Remember, we're just warming up. So we're just kind of trying to see how our body is doing. Good. 2, 1. Now we're going to take our arms out to the side, thumbs pointing towards the ceiling. Set the shoulders, and moving from your shoulders down to your fingertips, we're just going to do little shoulder circles today. So sometimes we relax our shoulders and we wind up just, kind of flopping the elbows and the hands around. Good. Change direction. We just want to do little bitty circles. You're drawing circles on the walls to the side of you with a paintbrush. Good. 2 and 1. Bring the arms down, and we're just going to tap our legs out to the side. And we're going to do our sway across the body. And I don't know why. I think it just feels good to me, but this is like my favorite warm-up exercise that we do. I just really like the way this one feels. 4, 3, 2. Keep the tap. We're going to now side bend. So little lift, like you're washing windows or you're trying to flag somebody down. A little bit of a side bend here. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it into the center. Feet hip width apart, toes pointing forwards, and we're just going to do our hip circles today. Good. Change direction. Bring it into the center. Now we're going to pivot on the heels, open at the hips, and we're going to go a little bit duck-footed. So again, we've just opened up those hips. So external rotation. Good. Change direction. Bring it into the center, and now we're going to internally rotate, again, moving from the top of your leg, from the hip all the way down to your toes. And then we do our little hip circle. And this is the one that I can feel that I have one hip that's definitely tighter than the other. Good. Change direction. So this is just kind of letting me know that, hey, my external rotators are a little tight. My inner thigh, my muscles might be a little bit weak. Good. Bring it into the center. We're going to do our hip swings. So hold on to something if you need to. And some of the feelings that you get might be from, just your body, the way that it's built, the way that it's made. But sometimes it's just you have some muscle weakness or some muscle tightness. So it's just to be aware of that movement and that feeling. Good. 2 and 1. Switch it over to the other side. Same thing. So again, you can always just start with little swings. We're bracing our core. So all the movement is coming from our hips, not our low back and our pelvis. So we want to try not to do a forward and back with the body or an arch and around with your low back. Good, 2 and 1. Now we're going to do our side leg. I like to stand facing a wall. You just want to have space in front of you. And then you're going to take it out to the side and cross. And I want you to try to go for the biggest range of motion that your hips will allow for. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to switch it over to the other side. Give yourself a little room. And then again, we're going to take it out and cross. And you are going to rotate your pelvis, kind of pivot it around the head of the femur on the opposite side. So we're getting a little bit of work on both legs technically here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Come to the center of the room. We're going to take our legs nice and wide. We're going to do those little pulsing side lunges. So bring it up. And we're just going to take a little double pulse to one side, double pulse to the other. Remember, we're just warming up a little bit here. So don't feel you have to get your hands down to the floor. Maybe some of you can. I am not one of them, especially not today. My hip and my knee are feeling good, and I'm trying to keep them that way. Good, so a little pulse, a little pulse. Here's 2 and 1. Bring it into the center. We're going to hinge from the hips, front, middle, and back. So front, middle, and back. And this is a little bit of a hamstring stretch. But we want to try to make sure that we're not bending at our back or bending at our knees just to get to the floor. It's okay if you don't get to the floor. As you progress and as you move through this, you'll find that you loosen up a little bit and you can go a little farther, a little closer to the floor. Good, 2. And last one. And we're going to bring it all the way up. Keep the legs nice and wide. Arms out to the side. Side lunge, little torso rotation. I want you to reach your shoulder towards one floor. And then your opposite shoulder is going to reach towards the ceiling. So I really want you to think it's hand to ankle or, hand to the calf, hand to the knee. But I want you to think, turn your body sideways. And I want you to think about that upper arm as well. So I don't want you to rotate your shoulder forwards while you do this. I want you to try to keep your palms facing forwards the entire time. Good, couple more. 2 and 1. And we're going to just place our hands on the floor, step it back into a plank position. I'm going to turn. So I'm going to take it down, and you can walk your hands forwards or you can step your feet back, your choice. Lift up, down dog, and then back to plank. Down dog, and back to plank. Good, couple more. Here's 2 and 1. We're going to carefully bring the knees down to the floor, or you can walk yourself up to a standing position, whichever one feels a little bit better. I'm going to turn on my fan. I'm going to grab a drink. And then we are going to start down on the floor. We're going to start with our 90-90 internal rotations. We're going to start with just the hip drop though. And again, you can do this sitting in a chair if you need to. You can modify most of these workouts to fit in a chair, but we're going to take it out 90-90. And we're just going to drop the knee in towards the floor. So knee in towards the floor. Knee in. I want you to try to keep your buns glued to the floor. So on the next set of exercises, we're going to kind of go a little side to side. I really want you to focus on just your knee, drop it in, and then drop it in. So I want you to keep your butt glued to the floor. So what happens a lot of times is we lift our hip, and for this one, I want you to try not to. We're really focusing on that internal rotation. Good, 2 more. Good, now we're going to take it all the way over and then all the way over. So now we can get a little bit more hip lift, trying to get the outside of one thigh to the floor and the inside of the other. I'm just feeling very clicky, kind of in my hip flexor today. Oh, you're back. I opened the window, so now she's got to go check out what's going on outside. Good. 2. Good. Now we're going to take it all the way over to one side. And we're going to be in our 90-90 position. We're going to take our hand and closest to the thigh. We're going to very gently press down on the inner thigh. Your opposite hand, I want you to press it onto the bottom of your foot. We're going to press down on the inner thigh, and then our hand and our foot are going to do a little tug of war. So I want you to push your foot into your hand, shoulder down, hand goes into the foot. Just a little muscle engagement, and then relax. We're going to do that one more time. So hand on the inner thigh, press the hand into the foot goes into the hand. You should feel some of those muscles in your thigh click on. And relax. And now we're just going to turn over that front leg, and we're just going to hinge it forwards. And we're just going to hold and take some nice deep breaths. If you're very tight, your hands may still be flat on the floor. You may be more upright. But we just want to take a few breaths and just feel the stretch in the outer thigh and the hip. Good. 3, 2, and 1. And now we're going to come back up. And we're going to adjust our body position, so you can bend the front leg a little bit, you can move the back leg a little bit forward, but we're going to lift the knee, set it down, and now I want you to try to lift your foot by internally, so just think you're trying to internally rotate that leg. Lift the knee, internally rotate the hip. So knee up, foot up. Good, knee up. And I kind of notice that I do a little lift, but I also just kind of rotate my toe in. And it's like, no, I got to try to rotate my entire leg in. So knee up and down. Good, lift. And then lift. And again, the toe up is kind of challenging on this one. The toe is definitely a little challenging. And lift. Good. Now we're going to take it over to the other side. So just take it over to our pigeon variation, our 90-90. We're going to take our hand, place it gently on that inner thigh. We're going to take our opposite hand, press it onto the bottom of the foot, nice and flat. Set the shoulders, and we're going to press down on the inner thigh, and then our hand and our foot are going to be in a bit of a tug of war. And again, you should feel some of the muscles in your hip kind of engage and click on. Good, and rest. And then we're going to do that again. So press down on that inner thigh, press the foot into the hand. 3, 2, 1, and bring it back up. And now we're just going to turn over that front leg. And we're going to hinge it forwards, walk ourselves out. We're going to take our chest down towards our knee or down towards our thigh, just getting a nice good stretch on that outer thigh, a little bit of side glute. Depending on where you're tight, you may feel this a little bit wrapping around to the glute ham tie-in, so where your thigh attaches to your butt. And 2, and 1, and then we're going to bring it all the way back up. And again, adjust your position as needed. You can bend the front leg a little bit, open the back leg a little, and we're going to just lift our knee and set it down. And then again, we're going to internally rotate. So I really want you to think about internally rotating. So I'm just kind of exaggerating it by grabbing the foot, but I just want you to lift your knee and then try to use your muscles and lift your foot. So lift your knee and lift your foot. And you can have your hand by your hip to help support you. Lift your knee, lift your foot, lift the knee, lift the foot. Good, we're going to do at least a couple more. Lift your knee, lift your foot, and then lift your knee, and then lift the foot. Good, bring it in. We're going to flip it over onto hands and knees, and we're going to do our hip cars. Those are our hip circles. You can do this standing, 100%. I would just have you standing next to something so that you can't lean, so you can stay nice and upright. So good hands and knees position, shoulders down, brace the core, so belly in. And we're going to take our leg up. We're going to donkey kick. And then we're going to bring that knee around, circle outside, and then bring it back in. Now we're going to go the opposite direction. Fire hydrant, rotate, and then in. So donkey kick, out to fire hydrant, back in. Fire hydrant, out to donkey kick, and in. So up, out, and around, out, around, and down. Good, couple more. I am being very careful with my movement here. Again, my hip is feeling good. I'm not getting too much clicking. I want to keep it that way. Up, out, and in. Last time, around, out, and down. And you can give yourself a little sit back, give the wrists a break. We're going to move right on to the other side. So again, shoulders down and back, reset. We're going to take that foot up towards the ceiling, out to the side, and then bring it in. And then we're going to take it out to a fire hydrant, rotate, and circle around. So we're trying to get a nice, good, maybe not quite a 360, but a very big circle on the hips. And the goal is to get at least 5. Good, so I've got one more, up and around, and then in and around. Good. All right, sit the hips back a little bit, reach the arms out just to get a little stretch, give the wrists a break. Good. Bring it back in. We're going to take it to hands and knees. We're going to go froggy. So I'm going to take my knees wider. So my knees are going to go about to the edge of my mat. And I want to try to bring my heels closer together. I'm going to sit my hips back towards my heels. And then I'm going to bring it forwards again. So I'm going to do a little rock back and rock forwards. Now some of you, if you have very tight inner thighs, your thighs might not go very far out. You might not get to the edge of your mat. Some of you may be very flexible. I know there are people that could probably get down into a split. That's not me. But we're just going to go forwards, and then we're going to go backwards. So just forwards, and then back. Forwards, and back. Good, one more time. Forwards, and back. And now we're going to walk our hands back towards our knees. We're going to carefully bring our knees more in, and we're going to go on to our tummies. And this one is kind of a challenging one. So we're just going to go onto our tummies. Rest your chin on your hands. Take your legs wide. So take your legs wide. You're going to bend your knees. And now I want you to, again, your knees kind of go out and your heels are touching. Knees go out, heels are touching. I want you to brace your core. And now we're going to squeeze our glutes, and I want you to try to push the bottoms of your feet towards the ceiling, and I want you to just try to get your thighs off the floor and then come back down again. And you're not going to go very far, and that's okay. So squeeze, lift it up, and then bring it back down again. So squeeze. So we're squeezing the glutes, trying to keep the heels together, push the feet towards the ceiling, and then down. The challenging part for this is if we're very tight or a little bit weak in the glutes, good, squeeze and lift. You're going to feel like you're arching your low back. I want you to rest your chin on your hands, keep them down, and lower. Good, we're gonna do a couple more right here. Squeeze the glutes, press it up. Heels touching, thighs coming off the floor. And down. One more time. And your thighs might barely get off the floor, and that's okay. I'm better at this now than I used to be. Good, and then down and bring it in. And now we're just gonna bring our legs back in. And we're just gonna rest for a moment. Good, and now we're gonna flip it over onto our backs. So we're gonna roll over onto our back. A little bit more hip and thigh strengthening today. Now you can do this with a ball or a yoga block or something like that, but we're going to lift our legs up into a dead bug. So low back, glued to the floor, hips at 90, knees at 90. You're gonna make a fist with each hand, and we wanna have our thumbs outside, so we don't wanna curl our fingers around our thumbs. So thumbs are gonna be on the outside. We're gonna touch our fists together, and then we're gonna place those fists between our inner thighs, just kind of above our knee. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna use our inner thighs, and I want you to squeeze your fists. So your fists are kind of locked into place. I want you to squeeze your fists, and then we're gonna relax. And if this again does not feel good, you know, you can gently use a yoga block if you have a ball. So squeeze, inner thigh squeeze. We're getting inner thigh strengthening here. And then we relax. So you can kind of go at your own tempo. But you're trying to squish, like your hands are Play-Doh. You're trying to squish the Play-Doh, but your Play-Doh is fighting back. And then relax. Good, couple more. You should feel your inner thighs kind of kicking on. And relax. And good, one more time. So squeeze, inner thighs together. Nice, good, press. 2, 1, and relax. And now we're going to take our feet down. I want you to look at your body position. I want there to be kind of a straight line from the bony spot at the front of your pelvis. It runs through your knees, right in the center, and then it's gonna run down to your second toe. So we just want to make sure that we don't have knees in and feet out, or when we lift up, our knees kick out to the side. But we're just going to lift up into our bridges. So take a nice deep breath in, tuck your pelvis, exhale, lift it up. As you lift the hips up, your shoulders are going to stay on the floor, your hips come up, your shoulder blades and ribs lift up off of the floor. We're just going to take it up and hold it. And then let's lower back down. Reset, tuck the ribs, little tail feather tuck, take a deep breath in, exhale, lift it up, hips lift up off of the ground. So imagine you're trying to lift your body all as one piece. Good, and down. We got 3 more of these. So tuck the ribs, brace the core, reset, squeeze the glutes, push through the feet. As you lift your hips up, the whole rest of your torso, all the way to your shoulders, comes up as one piece. Good, and down. So reset, tuck, deep breath, exhale, and lift. And down. Good, and we're gonna do that one more time. So tuck, reset, deep breath, exhale, lift it up. Nice, good squeeze. 2 and 1. Good, and bring it down. Let's roll ourselves over to our sides. Now we're going to start working on a little bit of thoracic mobility. So we're going to roll to our side. We're going to stack our hips and our knees, and we want our knees to be up kind of in line with our belly button. Our bottom hand is going to rest on top of our knees, and our top hand is going to open out in front of us. We're going to do some open books. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in. As we exhale, pull the knees into the floor, and then open your shoulder back behind you. And again, it's okay if you don't touch the floor. I don't. And then close. So we're just going to take a deep breath, exhale, pull the knees into the floor, open that top shoulder back behind you, and then close. Good. So we're going to take a deep breath, exhale, and really think about pulling the knees into the floor. That's going to keep your hips in a good position. and then close. Good, one more time, deep breath in, exhale, knees into the floor, open the torso back behind you. And bring it into the center. Now we're gonna flip it over to the other side. You can just roll over if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and flip over. So onto my side, pull the knees up, kind of in line with the torso, or not in line with the torso, in line with the belly button. Stack the hips, stack the knees, stack the feet. Bottom hand is gonna grab the thighs. Top hand reaches out. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, pull the knees into the floor. Open the shoulder back behind you. And then return. Deep breath in, exhale, knees into the floor, top arm, torso opens back. Good, take it back to the front. We got a couple more, big breath in, exhale. So we wanna try not to let the hips open back behind us or for your knees to separate. Good, and last time. I know this is the side that's really tough for me. Good, bring it back into the center. We're gonna come up to a seated position. And this is where we're going to come up and we're gonna come against the wall. And I'm gonna be in my half kneeling position. You are welcome to just be in the position you're in if you don't have a wall. The wall is just kind of, it helps you to keep a good body position. So we're gonna be half kneeling. For this one, we're going to start away from the wall. The farther out you start, the easier this is. And we're gonna draw our circles and we're gonna add a little torso mobility. So we're gonna take back of the hand to the wall. We're going to lift it up. And then we're going to circle it all the way around. And then we're going to come back through, circle it up and around. And you can do this standing, no kneeling position, just up and around, and then back, finish the circle. Now we're gonna do back of the hand until we get to the top, and then we rotate the palm to the wall to finish our circle. If you're ready to make this a little bit more challenging, you kneel a little bit closer to the wall or you stand closer to the wall. The closer you are, the easier, or the closer you are to the wall, the harder this will be. This is our last one. Good. Now we're gonna try to get our body as close to the wall as we can get. So thigh is touching, shoulder is touching, our arm is out. We're gonna press one arm into the wall, your other arm, you're going to take a nice deep breath in and you're going to open back behind you and then come back into the center. So you're gonna open, so kind of like I did our open books, and here. Open, and then close. Good, we're gonna do one more. Open, and then close. Good. Last one we're gonna do is we're gonna take that front arm. I want you to do your circle, but now I want you to turn your body towards that wall, reach it back, and you're just gonna hold it. This is our kind of like our scorpion stretch. You can move farther away from the wall, make this a little easier. 2 and 1, bring it back around, and now we're gonna switch sides. So remember, if it's uncomfortable to be kneeling on the floor, you are more than welcome to start doing this standing. But we're gonna start away from the wall. We're gonna do our arm circles. So starting away from the wall, back of the hand comes up, circle the palm forward to finish your circle, and then sneak back around. So bringing it up, circle around. This one, we're trying to keep our torso pointing forwards, up, back, and around, and then finish. I got a couple more, so I'm gonna move a little bit closer to the wall. I feel comfortable doing that. My shoulder feels okay. Good, we got one more right here. Good. Now I'm going to try to get as close to the wall as I can. Nice, good half kneeling position. So my knee is pressed against the wall, my hip is pressed against the wall, my arm is out. And now I'm going to squeeze my glute and I'm going to open. And then I'm going to come back into the center. So open. We want to try not to let that bottom leg, that back knee, try not to let that hip open up. I want you to imagine that you're trying to stretch as close to the wall as you can. Good, we got one more right here. Good, and now we're going to do our circle the arm up, and we're going to turn our torso this time, and we're going to try to get that torso as close to the wall as we can get. You might be a ways away from the wall, that's okay. Adjust your position as necessary, but this is just like when we do our scorpion stretch on the floor. In 3, 2, 1, bring it back around to the front. We're going to go ahead and come up to a standing position. And this is where we're going to grab our bands. If you have one and you would like to join us, a therapy band is fine, a band with candles is fine. We're just going to do our band pull-aparts and some rotator cuff because we just got lots of basically a shoulder dislocate variation. But we're going to brace our core, so tuck your tail under, set the shoulder blades, palms facing up. The wider the start position, the easier this is. So we don't want to start with our hands only a couple inches apart. We want to start a little bit wider. Set the shoulders 10 right. So we're just going to take it back. Good, and we're going to switch sides, so same thing, set the shoulders, lock in the arm that's not moving. So you're getting a little isometric work on that arm. Good, and then we're going to bring it in, set the shoulders, brace the core, 10 both. Good, bring it in, arms down, a little bit of a shakeout. We are going to bring our arms in closer here, shoulders down and back in your back pocket. Your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders, so we don't want to have them out in front or pulled back, just shoulders down. Elbows stay glued to your side, and we're just going to do external rotation. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now we're going to release that band. We're going to take it up and around, and we're going to take it behind us. And then we're going to take our hands, and we're also going to grab back. We're going to cinch it back a little bit closer towards our hips, shoulders down, and then same thing. We're going to press it out, elbows directly underneath your shoulders. And we're going to open. And it's really a little bit more of the close than the open. Here's 2 more. 2 and 1. And we're going to open up those arms out to the side, lock in one arm, press out, come in, press out, and come in. So we're trying to open up a little bit out to the side or out to the corner while your other arm is going to stay locked into place so we don't seesaw the band across the back. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're just going to release the band, and we're just going to circle it up and around to bring it back around to the front. Set it off to the side. Last exercise we're going to do, no equipment for this one. We're going to set the shoulders down and back into the back pocket. We're going to kind of open up. It does not have to be perfectly straight out to the side. A little bit low is okay, and we're just going to rotate forward and then forward. And the trick is we don't want to pop that shoulder forwards really far. It's just forward and in, forward and in. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Roll the shoulders up, back and down into your back pocket. We're going to pull the shoulders down and back, little ear to shoulder, side to side. Bring the head back up, and again, look to one side, look to the other. Bring it into the center. Big breath in. Spread the fingers, spread the toes, and exhale. Good. One more time. Big breath in and out. And you are all done.